everyone, welcome back to ErikaBuilds and another Sims 4 speed build. Today I have a really cute southern style house for you guys, and I'm building it on this 20 by 20 lot in Windenburg. As you probably just saw, I demolished the house that was originally here because I thought this would be the perfect location for this little country house. This build is based off of a real home, as usual, and I found the picture online while searching on Google. I think I just typed in small country house or small southern house, and as I was scrolling I saw a picture of this, and it was so cute and tiny. Of course my version's a little bigger, but it was so cute and tiny. I just thought this would be perfect for what I was looking for. This particular style actually has a name, which I didn't know, and it's called Low Country. And what that's defined as is like a simple, practical design that's typically raised off the ground, because down in the South, around the coast, like North Carolina, South Carolina, they have a lot of flooding. So usually these houses are raised off the ground, and then they also usually have at least one porch or multiple porches, which makes sense because it's very hot in the South, especially in the summer. So porches are nice for getting a nice summer breeze. So I learned something new. So low country, I think that is definitely probably one of my favorite house types, even though I didn't know that's what they were called. But I love southern style houses with porches. I've built several of those. If you've checked out my gallery listings, you've probably seen those as well. But anyway, this house was requested by a viewer, and she was looking for a small country style house for her Sims who are sisters who live together. And she was able to tell me quite a lot about them, which was really helpful, especially when doing the interior. And so I had a pretty good mental picture of the sisters as I was building this house for them. But this home has 2 bedrooms and 2 bathrooms, as well as a living room, dining room, kitchen, and office. So no laundry room in this one. But there is room in the side yard for like a laundry tub and clothesline. If you want to add that, you could easily do so. The sisters are, they're not twins, but I think they are pretty close in age. One is an artist and the other is a musician, and they also have a dog. So just the 3 Sims living here together. She described their personalities as the artist sister is really into like pinks and pastels, and she loves gardening. She has like a high gardening skill level, and also loves flowers and anything floral and pink. And then the musician sister prefers like black and white, a lot of monochrome colors like in her wardrobe, and she is not as much of a fan of the florals and pastels. So she wanted me to come up with an interior that would sort of be a mixture of both, where it would have some pastel touches and some black and white, with kind of a country look, but not too country. So not modern, but not country, but like a mix of the two. So it was a little bit challenging. I sat and thought about this house for quite a long time before I started doing the interior, and was kind of playing around with different ideas in my head before I started. But pretty much the first thing I knew is that I was definitely going to be using cats and dogs, because that's really perfect when you do country style homes, and that I wanted to do some black and white. And so I started here in the kitchen, and I chose these black and white cabinets from the Vampire Pack, which, if you've been watching some of my other videos, I'm constantly using these in like farmhouses and country style houses, because I think the design of the cabinets is very southern. and very, very country. So I thought this would be nice for the sister who likes black and white. And also I think the sister who likes the more country pastels would like this look as well. So a compromise between the two. And then I went with the Parenthood tiles for the walls mixed with the Parenthood wallpaper with the black wainscoting. So this side of the house definitely has more of a predominant black and white theme. But then when I moved on to the living room, I kind of went more with the pastels. So I was thinking of what would these sisters do if they were moving into this house? Like there would be compromise, right? So maybe certain areas would look like it was more for the musician sister, and maybe certain areas looked more like things that were chosen by the artist sister. So that was kind of fun to think about, and it really helped with just the creativity part of doing the interior. And that's probably one thing that is one of the most challenging things about building on a regular schedule. When you're trying to do a lot of builds, if you have, a YouTube channel, or you're just building a lot in the gallery or on social media, sometimes you get into like a little bit of a rut where you can't think of what you want to do next, or maybe you have a lot of ideas and you don't really know which one to focus in on. So when I have an exact family or sim that I can think about as I'm building, it really helps. So these sisters were on my mind pretty much the whole time I was building. And the house was pretty small, which of course with just the two of them, they don't really need that much space. But I kept the floor plan kind of open. It's still pretty traditional, but the kitchen and dining room being open to each other with the archways separating the living room, I think helps keep the house very open and airy feeling. Here in the kitchen, I tried to do sort of a mixture of country and modern decor. I played off of the chrome accents, which I think gives it a little bit more of a modern flair, and then added some country items as well. So it's just kind of a mixture of the two. The black and white definitely gives it more of a modern feel. And since they have a dog, I think she said it was a boxer. I made sure that there was pet food bowls in the kitchen as well. So now I'm moving on to the living room, and I do have some black and white in here as well, but I was trying to bring in some pastel colors, and so I decided to add some pink. So these couches are from Parenthood, and they have two matching armchairs that have pink cushions. And then I chose a coffee table that was white with pink floral, like a pink floral pattern around the edge that came from, I think, Movie Night Out stuff pack, I'm pretty sure. So adding some pink touches to the black and white. So we're starting to bring in, more pastel colors into the interior. And since there are no kids in this family, I didn't have to worry, about toys or items, that kids would need. So pretty much I'm just thinking about the two sisters and what I thought they would like to have. And so since one is an artist, I made sure there was an easel. And I actually ended up putting that easel here in the living room because the bedrooms upstairs are pretty small. And I did have room for the musician sister to have her guitar in her room, but for the artist sister, I had to put her easel down here. Just, there was no way I was gonna be able to fit it upstairs. Or actually it could have gone outside too. That's, I think, came with a couple of updates back, maybe like last fall, where you can now drag easels outside and in live mode. I gave them also a stereo because I figure they probably like music, and they've got a fireplace with a TV. So kind of a combination of country and modern, black and white with pastels. I don't know, you guys will have to let me know if you think it worked or not. It definitely was a bit challenging to kind of match all of that up. So for this bathroom on the first floor, I went with pink and gray. So gray kind of sticking with that black and white monotone feel for the one sister, and then the pink, of course, for the artist. So I'm constantly trying to make both of them happy as I'm decorating. And I tried to give them some plants. I put some plants inside and then quite a few potted plants outside on the front porch and the back porch. And that's not the nice thing about this house. They have a really big front porch and back porch. So I put some furniture out there already, and then there's room to even add more if you have more things you want to put out on the porch. And here I was just trying to fill an empty spot on the wall and ended up putting a mirror there. So just adding a few things to finish up this room. Again, tying in more pastels with some pinks and blues along with the black and white. In the comments section of my last video, I was asking you guys what other kinds of builds you would like to see, because I'm always happy to take requests, like if you have a particular house that you need, but also just like ideas in general of things that you'd like to see here on the channel. So I had a couple of responses here in the comments and also over on Instagram. I tend to get more messages on Instagram than I do here on YouTube, but a couple of requests for apartments. Somebody requested a modern apartment, also community lots, things like that. So if you ever have any ideas or something that you've been looking for or wanting to see, please let me know because I don't want to just keep, always just doing houses over and over if you guys want to see other things. But I have to say, I do prefer to do houses. And I mean, I have done some apartments and community lots. I've done a couple of restaurants. I've done one park, which turned out sort of okay, I guess. But I'm always happy when anybody has suggestions for things that they'd like to see. But up here on the second floor, the bedrooms are very small, as you can see. So for this first bedroom, I went with blue and green. This is cats and dogs, and this is for the musician sister. I was able to fit a guitar and a microphone in here for her. I was tempted to go with black and white because I know that is a favorite of hers, but I also kind of wanted to stay in this sort of color scheme for the upstairs. So hopefully this will work out okay, adding some color in here for her room. And I really love these beds from Cats and Dogs. The colors are so pretty and it looks really nice with those Laundry Day, the rugs from Laundry Day. The only bad thing is these sisters, if they have a significant other, they will not be able to use these beds for recreational purposes because they're just single beds. So that is one downside. I guess if they get in a relationship with someone, they'll have to go to their place or maybe put a woohoo bush out in the yard. I don't know, but they are just single beds up here. And if you download this house and you have a small family, like maybe like a single mom or a single dad with one child, this house would work for that as well. You could just make one room for an adult and one for a kid, but it's just very small. This is why I don't build on my 20 by 20 and 20 by 15 lots very often, because I like to build big houses with lots of kids and lots of bedrooms. And so it's very, very challenging for me to build in these small rooms and small homes. Someone on Instagram today in the comments under this house asked me if I could do a tiny home. And I'm like, this is a tiny home. This is a tiny home to me, this 2-bedroom house. But I don't know if I could do it. I'll try, but I don't know if I can do it because I'm not really sure. Like I've watched other people build tiny homes, and I know, there's little tricks like, don't put a sink in the bathroom. You can just use the kitchen sink and stuff like that. So I know some of the rules, but I've never actually tried to build one. But maybe I will. If people want to see it, I'm willing to give it a try. So this is the office, which actually could be a 3rd bedroom. So if you have a small family, maybe with 2 kids, you could convert this office to another bedroom if you wanted to. But I just imagined that these sisters would definitely have use for a computer. So I wanted to make sure that they had an office area where they could, share the computer area and have that as well. And then upstairs, there's just 1 bathroom, but I made it really big because I wanted to make sure they had a bathtub for the dog and a shower, because I like for a house always to have at least 1 shower. And so again, lots of pastels here and parenthood. So plenty of room for the sisters to share this bathroom together. If you end up putting a couple of kids up here, I think it'll still work with 1 bathroom to share. Okay, so now we're back downstairs, and this is the back porch where I put a grill and a little outdoor dining table and a couple other chairs and some citronella candles. I used quite a few things from the backyard stuff pack. I think that has a nice sort of southern feel to it. The chairs have a lot of cute patterns for the cushions, and the potted plants are really, what's the word I'm looking for? They're very colorful and sort of whimsical, so I like those as well. And then I went ahead and left some of the landscaping in. Usually I cut that out, but this house was so small that the video was really short, so I thought, okay, I'll just leave the landscaping in this time so you guys can watch me. And basically what I was thinking about here, okay, I knew the artist's sister loved flowers and gardening, so I was thinking about that as I was placing all of these flowers, and I was just imagining a lot of pastel colors and a lot of pink, and just making it really bright and colorful and it's sort of romantic, I guess. Maybe that's because of the romantic garden stuff pack flowers that I used. And then I put that trellis with the roses, which I think is really pretty. And then I added this oak tree with the hanging lanterns, which I think is really beautiful, with a little bench. So I imagine that the sisters could come out here and enjoy the outside. This lot is situated between 2 lakes. So there's water on both sides with fishing holes. So if they like to fish, they'll be all set for that. And I added like a bird feeder and a bird house and lots of little outdoor touches. There's like a little pathway there, and I added some gardening plots. So it's pretty cutesy, kind of romantic and floral and pretty. I just imagine it'd be a nice place to sit and enjoy the outdoors. So this house is pretty small, but like I said, these 20 by 20 lots and 20 by 15 lots, there's not a lot you can do with them. And I don't build on them very often, but I probably should start doing it more because I really like to fill up, I'm not technically making a save file, but I guess I kind of am. I try when I'm making something, to share in the catalog, I try to make a lot of different sizes of homes and different sizes of lots. So I probably need to keep forcing myself, I shouldn't say forcing myself, encouraging myself that sounds better, to do some small houses. But this was really fun and it was really cute. Hopefully the viewer will enjoy this and her Sims will be happy with how it turned out. And I added a lot of these little outdoor lights. So I imagine that when you have these big porches, maybe you like to entertain out there, have friends over, sit outside at night. So I made sure there was plenty of lighting. So that's about it for this build. It's a cute little house and I think it turned out pretty good. I'm still struggling to get my landscaping up as good as it should be, but I'm slowly, I think, getting better. So when I do projects like this, I think it helps me to keep expanding my knowledge of plants and flowers. I don't have a green thumb in real life, and I definitely don't have one in The Sims either. But anyway, I really appreciate you guys coming by and watching this build today. Don't forget to like and subscribe if you want to see more builds from me. This house and all my other houses are available to download in the gallery. My ID is ErikaBuilds, and you can also follow me on Twitter and Instagram. My username is ErikaBuilds on both of those as well. So I hope you have a great day, and I will see you guys next time. Bye-bye.